Good morning and welcome back. I'm Danielle, known as Cardiff Stitcher here on Flosstube. It's the 21st of April, which is Bank Holiday Easter Monday. So I hope you all had a lovely Easter yesterday with some lovely Easter egg hunts. The weather was lovely yesterday, so we managed to do, even though she's 15, I thought we'd get Olivia to work for her Easter egg. So we did an Easter egg hunt inside and outside. I always have an idea of what to say, and as soon as I start filming, everything goes out of my head. So do please bear with me. It is raining at the moment. I'm in the conservatory because the light isn't too good in the lounge, and I didn't really want to put the lights on. So the natural light isn't too good, and I didn't want to put the lights on. So we're in the conservatory because we've got windows all across there. So I'm looking out on the back garden and with loads of lights coming in. But you may hear that it's raining because of the type of roof we've got for the conservatory. So I haven't filmed in a while because I often think to myself I haven't done enough stitching to warrant filming and not much progress. But as I've been watching Flosstube lately, I've noticed that a lot of Flosstubers are getting in the same amount of stitches that I would normally get in during the week, especially those who are working full time like myself, those who either are retired or are lucky enough not to have to work, obviously get more stitching in. So I thought, well, I might challenge myself and come back every 2 weeks and see how we go. If you've been with me before, you might remember that I started doing the temperature stitching. So you choose the high of the day, the temperature. So if it's 27, you use the number 7, and you stitch on that project. However many, if you wanted to stitch 100 stitches, 200 stitches, whichever you wanted. Well, I was finding that I was checking the temperature at the end of the day and not really wanting to stitch on those pieces. So I've now abandoned that, and I'm going on to use the Tiny Decisions app, I think it is. The little wheel that we use to spin. Whatever it's called anyway, it's on my tablet. So I started using that a couple of weeks ago. Spin the Wheel app. I started using that a couple of weeks ago, and even roll back. I've had the last 10 days off work, so I've been able to get a lot more stitching in the last 10 days than I normally do. And having that Tiny Decisions app, little wheel, spin the wheel app, has helped me decide what projects I'm going to stitch on. And all the ones that have come up, I've actually enjoyed stitching on. So I'm going to keep on using that. So, I have also been quite busy, obviously, with life. I was going to film yesterday, but the weather was nice, so I utilised the weather and I was out in the garden. I've collected seeds over the years, those seed packets that you tend to put in baskets and things. I pick them up every now and then when I go shopping, and then I put them away, or Chris puts them away and then forget where they are. Anyhow, I found a load and I thought, right, I'll plant them. So we've got some baskets on the fence, so I've planted them there. And then there's a spot in our flower bed that just doesn't seem to grow anything except for flaming weeds. So I thought I'll plant a load up there and see what happens. And I've also sectioned off some of our grass so it can grow wild, because there's quite a few dandelions out there, and I've seen a few bumblebees yesterday. So I said to Chris, right, we're not cutting that part, we're going to keep her, to his dismay. So yes, I've fenced off a little bit of it, and I've also scattered some seeds around there, and that's where the bird feeder is and things. So I'm currently sitting here staring out at the birds while watching you as well. Well, talking to you, not watching you. So yeah, so if I get distracted, it's because I'm watching the birds. I'm going to take a leaf out of Stuart's book, and I'm going to say, while you're watching or listening to me, can you let me know what you're stitching on, and then I can go and have a look. And feel free to tag me in any of your photos on Instagram or Facebook, and or if you even want to, just email me and share your stitching and your stitching progress. It'd be fab to see what you're stitching on while I ramble on. So I'm going to get in with it. Get in with it? No, I'm going to get on with it. If I kick the table, I do apologise like that. I've got Teddy on my lap here. Shall I show you quick? Here he is. He sticks to me like glue, he does. Other than when it's bedtime, he sleeps in with Olivia, but as soon as it's light out, he wants to wake up. So I've been awake since 2:30 this morning, not because it was light, but I suffer with gallstones, waiting for my gallbladder removal surgery. But I had issues last night with my gallbladder, so I wasn't able to sleep very well. And then lo and behold, just as I'm trying to fall back to sleep, so Teddy decides he's going to get up because it's light outside. So he's now sat next to me because he won't go back to bed without me. And I thought, I'm up, I'll film this. So he's here. Daisy's still in bed. She, bless her little heart, she turned 10 last weekend. So she's getting on now, lover. But still as sprightly as she wants to be sometimes. And as I say, let's get on with it. So I've got all my stitching here on my right hand side. So if I do look down or move out of the way, I do apologise. But I'm just getting my stitching. Before we do stitching, I've been keeping this aside for quite a while because I wanted to share with you. I won Mama Loves You GB's giveaway probably a few months back now. She was giving away this cotton and twine box from the historical company. So I've just kept it as it is. There's the wrapping paper. I thought I'd use this paper, stick it onto some cards and try and make some floss drops out of it. You can see, can't we? So in this little box that I won is a little rabbit, just in time rabbit, just in time for Easter. I'm going to call her Snowy because she's white, and she's going to sit on my mantelpiece, so she can go by there for now. In the box there was a gold chocolate coin, which has since been eaten. I haven't started this because I wanted to show you, and that's how long it's taken me. This is the Easter piece from Cotton and Twine. It says Happy Easter. I will stitch that up and get it finished for next year. And with that comes the gingham backing, blue gingham backing, white trim. Is it called rickrack trim? I'm not sure. All the threads on the pre-sorted card, and if I remember correctly, is this linen? And I've got new glasses. So before, my glasses were just for close-ups, but now I need close-ups and far away. I did try varifocals, did not get on with them, obviously because I work in a nursery and forever having to look around and I just couldn't figure it out. So now I've got bifocals, so I'm still trying to get used to where I'm looking, but it's a lot easier than it was. Anyhow, back to this. I have got I do apologise, I don't know what it is. I think it might be linen. I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that it's linen, but the booklet says "16 count Ada, 16 count Zweigart Ada," but I don't think it is. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere that it was linen, but anyway, this linen, yeah, it looks like linen, doesn't it? That's that. So yeah, I've never stitched on linen, so it will be good to give that a go, and I'll keep you updated as and when I get around to doing it and things like that. And then we've got a classic everyday fair trade tee, which I completely forgot about, otherwise I would have used it. So I'll have that. However, I don't think it's decaf. I don't tend to drink caffeinated stuff because I get migraines, but I suppose once in a while is not going to hurt, is it? So that's what I got from Mama Loves You GB. Thank you ever so much, Michelle. I did win another chart from someone. It was from Stitchy Sally, but I can't find it. So what I'll do is when I find it, I'll pop a picture in here. Before I carry on, if I've got pictures of any progresses, if I've got any progress pictures, I'll stick them in here as I'm showing you the charts. Alright, so along with that, those giveaways, I was talking to a lovely lady, Tina, and she's not long had cataract surgery. So I was asking her how she was and if she's managed to get back to stitching, to which she said to me, I've sent you a little gift. I said, oh, thank you ever so much. I'm not home at the moment, so it'll be a lovely surprise when I get home. So we've been away in Doncaster for the last week and came back Saturday, and there was a lovely little package. I was going to wait to open it up today, well, yesterday because of filming, but when I filmed, which would have been today. But Chris was eager to have a look at what it was, so we opened it up. Now, Tina has sent me gifts before. Project bags, fabric, charts, kits, lovely things. She never thinks that her project bags are worth selling. Now I'm telling you, I think they are. She says she's by no means a professional, but then again, who is? I mean, what's classed as a professional? Unless you're a professional seamstress, we are all just learning as we go. And a lot of the people that make project bags have learnt from tutorials. And I think she does a bloody brilliant job, because I've got a sewing machine, I've got fabric, there's no way I could make what she makes. And I've got quite a few bags from her, and they're lovely decent sized bags. I've showed you them before, because they hold my big Q snaps and they also hold my fabrics and threads for my bags. But anyway, Saturday I come home and I open up, well, Chris opens up this parcel, and in this parcel is an absolutely gorgeous project holder. It's like a project bag, but instead of a zip, it opens up with Velcro. It smells lovely. I don't know what she's used to wash it, but that's there. Now I have no idea what's inside it, because I said to Chris I'm going to wait until I film, because I want to show you as well as me knowing. And I said to Tina, is it okay if I mention her? And she said yes, of course. She has said if there's things I don't want, I can pass them on as a giveaway, but I don't know because I haven't opened it. So in any case, there's a pocket here, fabric pocket there, and then there's a zipper pocket here, which vinyl and spots. Absolutely beautiful. And the fabric is Peter Rabbit, just in time for Easter. Isn't it? It's lovely. It's got a Velcro fastening. I mean, the stitching, you're not going to be able to see it on camera, but the stitching is just amazing. And she says that she doesn't think it's worth selling. Well, Chris thinks it does. It is. And he knows nothing about stitching. He thinks it's absolutely amazing. It's quilted as well. So on the outside, you can see she's, I don't know what you call this, but she's stitched the diagonal. And she's stitched there. And, well, it's lined and all that. So I just think her project bags are absolutely phenomenal. It's my IKEA Stitch Club today, and I'll be taking it with me, and I'll be asking the girls down there what they think of the quality, because personally, Tina, I think you should be selling them. And I am very, very appreciative of you choosing me to have your project bags. Ever so much. So we're going to go through this. Pardon me. Like I said, I have no idea what's in here. And the first one is tea time pattern. Now, I've never seen this before. It's just a chart. That's what it will look like when it's finished. I'm not a big fan of things like tea time, Only because I don't put them in the kitchen because I'm too concerned of the condensation and all that. But I might, we will see. Thank you for that. And then, that was stuck together. There is a Design Works Counter Cross Stitch Picture Kit. It's a bird sampler, it is. An ABC's bird sampler. Looks a lot like a Joan Elliott one, but I could be wrong. And that is just the fabric and the chart. But as they say in in Afrikaans, Marky Starkney, doesn't matter. We can get the floss together. I've got loads of floss as it is. Tina, are you trying to tell me something? Because the next one is also a bird sampler. DMC. And there it is. Isn't he cute? Now, I don't know anyone who is due a baby or is having a baby. I'll definitely not. So there's that one as well. And that, as I say, that's a kit. It's unopened as well, so it's brand new. Thank you, Tina. And then in this side, we have got, oh, threads. Oh, these might, I'm not sure what threads they are. They might be the threads for the Joy Sunday kit. There's all those threads. They're lovely soft threads. I will have to look at those in a bit. Thank you. And then there is a little dog presents loyalty, bravery, honesty and attention. The doggy with flower. And there's that little kit. Really cute. He reminds me of the dog from It's Pet's Life. Doesn't he? The big shaggy one. And then there's some lovely white Ada. It looks to be about 16 count. There's one and two. And there's 2 needles in there as well. Decent size as well. So thank you ever so much, Tina. I will be putting those to good use. I'm going to leave those there because I've got a feeling I'm going to be filling this project bag in a bit. So again, there's the project bag. I mean, it's lovely. It's gorgeous. Thank you ever so much, Tina. Really, really appreciate it. Right, now I'm going to move on to whips. So, whips is works in progress. I will endeavour, whatever, my tablet won't switch on. I'll endeavour to insert pictures of the projects and then the progress pictures. So, in no particular order, I will start. I haven't unzipped them. Okay, so if I haven't got the picture with me, I will then insert it. This is QS Seahorse by Ching Chu Kyuk, Heaven and Earth Designs. That's what it will look like when it's finished. Now, this was part of my temperature stitching, and I was picking it up and I wasn't really wanting to stitch on it. Oh, and I've got some hanging threads. Why have I got hanging threads? I never park. Unless I try parking with this, I can't remember. I was picking it up and I wasn't wanting to stitch on it. Well, it was being cold and I wasn't wanting to stitch on it. But I think I know why. I think it's because the blues, some of the blues are fading in with the background. But I'm pretty sure I stitched on it. Can't be 100% sure, but I think I did. That is where I'm at. And if I've got a progress picture, I'll put it over my face. You don't need to see my face, it's fine. That's where I'm at. And like I said, there's hanging threads for some reason. So, I do not have a project card for this for some bizarre reason. But it is stitched on what looks like a 14 count Ada. obviously 2 threads over 1 with 14, 16, no 16 count, sorry. So that's that one. I will be putting everything back in and zipping them up so that I don't lose anything. The next one I worked on, I don't think I worked on this one very much, but it's Mini Meditation by Elizabeth Welker, another Heaven and Earth Designs. That's what it will look like when it's finished. I'm trying to do like colour completion, but when I come to do the 310, I'm not going to be able to do much colour completion because 310 is all the way on the outside as well, and it's quite a big piece. But that's where I am. I know I have worked on this, I just don't know how many stitches. Like, and I'm absolutely rubbish at keeping track of stitches and all that. So that's that one. I'll put a progress picture in once I've edited it. That's that. See, now this Q-snap doesn't fit in this bag, but the ones that Tina made me are massive bags where the Q-snap would fit in. And it's just amazing. Yes, that's that one. Next one is Carolyn Manning. Flether of Jellyfish. Now I haven't got a cover photo for this, so I will insert it. But this is where I'm at. Now, I think the last time I showed you this, it was the wrong way round. But this is the right way because I always start up in the top. As you're looking at it, it's top right, but this way is top left, whatever. I'm up there. So I'll put a progress picture in here. So that's that one. I know I did stitch on this quite a bit because I quite enjoy this piece because it's not so much confetti, it's block colours, but you get to change it quite often. The next piece I've worked on in a new project bag, because I've got this big Winnie the Pooh project bag, but because I take this piece to work with me, when I went to Loopy-Loos a few weeks back, the Loopy-Loos day retreat in Pendoylan, Turtle Bay Fabrics was there, and she made one of these. She thought of me. I don't know if I'd said anything about the smaller bags or not, but she's made smaller bags. So I thought, brilliant. So I nabbed it. I didn't nab it, I grabbed it. So this is what it will look like when it's finished. Tigger. And I tend to stitch this in hand because it's in work and I don't stitch on it that often because I only get half an hour lunch break, and by the time I finish my lunch there's maybe 10 minutes left. So this is where I am. There is a hanging thread because I need to tie it in and I didn't have scissors with me at the time. So that's where he is. I do love this guy. I love his bright colours. TTFN, ta-ta for now. So that's Tigger. I need a paper chart, so there's no way I'll be counting stitches for him. And he is part of our Winnie the Pooh Wednesday, hashtag Winnie the Pooh Wednesday, hashtag WTP Sound, which I'm taking part with Kayla from Stitching with My Littley and Rachel, Talking Dog Stitchery. And if you want to jump on, by all means, jump on. It can be any Winnie the Pooh, whether it's the new or the old, the classic, any. I hope to have a wall full of my Winnie the Pooh things because Olivia's birth sampler is Winnie the Pooh, and she's too old for Winnie the Pooh. And I thought, well, it's just being hidden down the side of my chest of drawers and I want to get it out and hang it up. So I thought I'll make a Winnie the Pooh wall, which is what I'll be doing. So we do that. It's called Winnie the Pooh Wednesday, but you can stitch on it whenever you want. Anyway, let's move on. Next one is QS Star Dragon by Lisa Victoria. Another one from Haid. This one was also part of the temperature stitching. And again, this one I wasn't enjoying. I started this for my birthday. In 2022, I think it was. But like I say, it's been stitched on, but just not much. And I think it's because I want to, the type of fabric is blue mottled, it is fabric, and I'm omitting the background. But because I didn't get the chart with the omitted background, I'm finding it hard to omit the background myself. So what I might do is, because Hayde have sales so often, when I got a spare couple of bob, I might just purchase the chart without the background. It might make it easier then. But this is where I'm at. I have made a mistake somewhere. I cannot find out where I've made the mistake, so I'm fudging as I go. But isn't he cute? You see why I'm omitting the background? Because it's a lovely mottled fabric. Blues and lilacs and whites. I mean, that there looks like a cloud. That's just perfect, isn't it? So yes, that's where I'm at. And I will carry on stitching that, but not as part of the temperature sal or stitching. I will use it for my spin the wheel. And if he comes up, he comes up. So with the spin, I'll tell you when I get to cans. I'm all over the place. My next one, I don't have a picture of this either. It was the Darin Jones Sal, Love Sal it was for Valentine's Day. So what I'll do is I'll insert a picture of what it will look like when it's finished, because it's now finished. And that's where I'm at the moment. Lovely colours. I've seen a few people do this. It's a free sale, so if you join her Facebook page, Darin Jones cross stitch page, it's on there. Should be in the files section. And people have changed it, but I wasn't brave enough to change it, so I kept it as that. And this is another little one. I just stitch it as and when I can, because it's in a little bag. I'll show you the bag now. It's not a project bag per se. In the nursery, one of the little ones left, and they gave all the nursery nurses one of these little bags. So I've utilised it as my project bag. Right, next one up is Mini Sunflower Cottage from Heaven and Earth Designs, and it's by Donna Gausinger, and that's what it will look like. So this is part of the Sunflower Cottage Salm that's run by Stitchman Darcy and Emma X Stitching. God knows where. I wouldn't be surprised if they're finished theirs, actually. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm the last one still doing mine. That's that. I did originally start the big one because I didn't realise that you could get the mini. And then I got the mini. I washed the fabric because it had 20 by 20 grid lines on it, I think it was. And I couldn't get on with the 20 by 20. So I washed the fabric and it's gone really, really soft now, and I quite like stiff fabric. But this is really soft. But I have put a load of stitches on it. And that's where it's at. So, oh, where's my stitching book? Yeah, I've got a little date book where I keep all my stitches, if I remember to keep them in. So Sunflower Cottage, I stitched on it for 3 days this last week, and I got 705 stitches in it for this last week. So I'm really impressed with that. So there it is. Loads of blue. Lucky I love blue, but I think that's the reason why I picked it. And there's another one of Tina's bags. Again, quilted. Sturdy as anything. And normally, I've got this project normally in a Q-snap. It's normally in a Q-snap when I'm working on it, so I just put it in the bag. And again, the bag is big enough to hold my Q-snaps. Right, next one. In another bag by Tina. Thank you ever so much, Tina. They're just amazing, these bags. And I mean, this one is an absolute huge whip. This is Santa's Visit by Charting Creations. Artwork by Mark Missman. That's what it'll look like when it's finished. And I worked on this one the last week for 2 days, this past week, and I got in 354 stitches. I did share it on my Instagram, so you might have seen it, but I'll also share sorry guys, trying to wrangle the giant fabric. I'll also share the project picture. So that's where I'm at. I was going to finish this page, but I need to get some more 3865. But I'm going to wait until I need a big order of threads instead of just having to buy 4 and then pay the extra for posting packaging. I get my threads from Cross and Crafts, and I need some more fabric as well. So when I get around to doing that, when I got some spare cash, I'll order a load, because there's 2 projects that I need 3865 on. So there. So yeah, and I've got my little box of threads. That's not all the threads I need for this project, so that's just some of them. Get back in there. Okay, see, spacious, loads of room left. My next one is, yes, this is Beach by Flossabilities. It's in a summery bag. Another one by Tina. It's got high rules in it at the moment, only because I haven't taken the chart out. Now, I did have this as a paper chart, but I've come to realise that me and paper do not gel. So we got around to speaking to Lauren, and I said to her, I don't know how, but I said to her about me purchasing it for my birthday, because my birthday was in February. And she said, don't be so daft. She said, I'll send it to you. Give me your email address and I'll send it to you. And I was like, no, don't be silly. You're a business. You can't be doing that. But she did. As a birthday present, she sent me the PDF for Beach. And there it is. And Kayla from Stitching Out My Little was saying on her latest Flosstube that she's got this chart. So I messaged her and I said, why don't we start it as a sal and we'll break it down into sections. So she said, oh, that's a good idea. So if you want to jump on and join us in this sal, I think we'll call, I was originally going to stitch it with someone else, but I don't think they've started it yet. And we're going to call it Beach Sal. So if you want to join in, you're more than welcome to. This is on a cream Ada, but it's it's got a sheen to it which you can't see. It's not where you get the specs in. It's not opalescent, but it's and it doesn't feel like Ada. And it's you got to concentrate when you're stitching this, because the threads of the fabric, they just split so easily when you're stitching, so you got to make sure you get it through in the right holes. But yeah, so now that I've got the PDF for this, I do love it. So I'm going to share the sections that I'm going to stitch. I mean, you can stitch it however you want, but I've mapped out the sections that I'm going to stitch each month, and I'll share that on my Instagram if you want to. So that's that one. Next one. Right, this one is a really old one. And I've done all the cross stitch. Well, I've done the majority of the cross stitch. And it's just the back stitch to do. It's the Bambi one. Now this kit is from Oldies, and it came with all the kits and the threads and all that. That's where I'm at. I worked on it a couple of Sundays ago, and I got in the back stitch cloud, the back stitch letter in there, and this bit here. But I found out that this, somehow, the cloud is wrong. But the thing is, it's stitched using 6 strands of thread. And some of the stitches, you've got to pierce the Ada for the back stitch in awkward places. I'm trying to trying to pull 6 threads through. It's ridiculous. So I've done the cloud using 6 threads, but I've done the lettering using 4, and even that was quite hard. My finger at the end of it was so sore. But I will say, using the 4 strands, I got the French knot on the eye for little. I managed to do it first time round. Go me. And I think that's because it was 4 strands of thread. So yeah, I've just got to finish the back stitch off on that, and then I'll do thumper. That's the one I done. Next one I worked on is Monarch butterfly. Blue Monarch sunflower, sorry. I always get the name of this wrong. I don't know if it still is, but it was a freebie on Artsy. I love butterflies, I love sunflowers, and that's where I'm at. I think I only stitched on this maybe once or twice, I think. Once, I think, and I got 224 stitches in it. See, so I don't think 224 stitches is much to show progress to you guys. But then, like I said, I was watching other Flosstubers, and they're getting, some of them are just getting like maybe 90 stitches in, and they're still showing their progress. So they might get 90 in one and then 100 in another and whatnot. And I'm thinking, well, if they're sharing theirs, surely it's okay to share mine. So if you think, let me know how many stitches you think is good enough to show progress. I don't know. I don't know. Right, next one is by Darin Jones. Plant a garden. To plant a garden is to believe in tomorrow. It's a quote by Audrey Hepburn. Yeah, that's what it will look like when it's finished. And this, come on, is currently where I'm at. So since I showed you last, I'm not sure if I brought this up, but I've stitched that. I'm pretty sure I stitched that, and I stitched these and that. I'm pretty sure I got a progress picture, so I'll stick it in if I've got it. Yeah. This has gone into Pattern Keeper. For some reason, Pattern Keeper has taken it twice, so I don't know how many stitches I've got left. But the thing with Pattern Keeper, you can view the back stitch as long as you view it as a PDF, which is no bother to me. That's fine because I can still zoom in. Yeah, that's what it will look like. Quite a lovely piece to stitch on. Mind you, they're all lovely in their own little way. That's that one. And my last one, which I saved till last because it's absolutely ginormous, as you will all probably know by now, is my animal Panorama. Where's the picture? I do not know. No, I've lost the picture. I'll put the picture in here. I was colour completing this page by page, but I've changed my mind, and I'm now picking the topmost colour and running with it until the thread runs out, and that's where it's at. So you can see it's the tiger coming in, and then the plant, whatever it is here, and I think that's the paw. And that's where it's at, yeah. There's so much fabric, it hurts my arm. I don't know, that's so long. So much. There we go. And this last week, I don't know. Oh, I haven't written it down for this. Oh dear. See, I'm terrible at keeping track. This is normally my weekend project, but travelling back from Doncaster Saturday, I only got about 76 stitches in it Saturday before we left, and then yesterday I done the garden. And then by the time I finished the garden, went to see my mum and dad's, because we haven't seen them for the week. So we went to see my mum and dad, come back, done the garden. Fran came to visit, tidied the bedroom after being away, having to put all the clothes away and things, done washing, whatnot, all the usual adulting things. By the time I sat down, I ended up doom scrolling on Instagram and I just didn't do any stitching. But there we go. That's all my stitching since I've seen you last. Good enough progress? You tell me. So, for some reason, there we go. There's got to be a sensor thing on this tablet because every time I hold it up like this, it doesn't want to. See, the screen switches off and I don't know why. Anyway, there we go. Right, what's to stitch on? Shall we see? Now I'm going to choose 6 whips for the next 2 weeks. If I stitch on them, excellent. If I don't, that's life because I'm back to work tomorrow. So let's have a look. The first one, when it decides to stop, is going to be Christmas Cottage. My pen's gone. Okay, if I just write it down, I know I could take a screenshot and all that, but it's not going to work. And I could look back on this, but I'm not going to. So that's number 1. Right, if I hide that because I don't want it up again. Oh, that's why it took so long to choose, because it's spun around 7 times. Now, if we go 4 spins, come on, save. Oh dear. Right, ready? Next one. All things bright and beautiful. Okie dokes. Next one. I didn't hide it, darn it. If it comes up, I'll have to hide it again. Lighting the Way. That piece I got from, sorry, 2 secs. I got from Lee, Creative Lee, and I started it for her birthday, so it'll be lovely to stitch back on that one. Right, let's hide that. Next one. Ah, surprise, surprise, Animal Panorama. That's my weekend stitch anyway, so that'll get more. I aim to stitch on each piece twice in the week, but we'll see. Like I say, if I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. Quick Stitch Dragon Guardian. Okay, one more. God, this is a long video. Sorry, guys. Do feel free to jump ahead now and then if you want to. There you go. Quick Stitch Star Dragon. Okay. Now, I'll go and grab those quickly, and then I'll show you what I'm going to be working on. 2 seconds. Okay, so I've gone and grabbed them, and I'll give you a quick preview of them. I can't actually find Star Dragon, so I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Carolyn Manning's Flutter of Jellyfish, because in May I'm going to do Manning May. Now, what I want to know from you guys is I've got another Carolyn Manning piece. I think it's called Shooting Star. Do I, knowing you guys, you'll say yes, but I want to give you the option anyway. Do I start the Shooting Star And then this is Shooting Star, by the way. Oh, see what I mean? The tablet keeps going off. There we go. That's going to be Shooting Star. Lovely, beautiful, bright colours. Okay, so do I start that as well and then continue with Feather of Jellyfish, or do I just stick with Feather of Jellyfish for manning May? It's up to you guys. Let me know. So I'm going to do that one Feather of Jellyfish anyway. All right, and then the next one that came up was Christmas Cottage. That's what it's going to look like when it's finished. And this was a rack from Michaela, who is what's it called again, Michaela? What's your thing? What's your Instagram handle? I did try looking on Instagram, but it's not working on my tablet. I think Michaela is Michaela from Munich, I think. A lot of you will know Michaela, especially if you go to the stitching retreats, because she goes to Floss Friends and she goes to Essex Needles retreats. But yeah, she's absolutely lovely as Michaela. I've obviously met her, and she's just so nice. That's all I can say. She's just a genuine person. She's just so nice. And she sent me this as a rack back in 2022, and that's what it will look like. It's going to be an absolutely massive piece. I don't know what I'm stitching it. I'm stitching it on Ada. I think it's 18 count, 18 or 20 count. I'm not quite sure, but it's going to be huge. I mean, it's 450 wide by 562 high. It only contains 89 colours. Only. That's not bad for such a big piece. But anyway, this is where I'm going to be starting from. I'll aim to get 2 days on that. Don't know my stitching technique just yet. I have got on floss cards at the moment, floss drops, I have got 823 and 311. So I might just continue working with those two blues. We will see how I feel, because I've also got 336 on a bobbin, and I've got another one in here. What other one have I got? 797. So all blues. So it will be a case of dark blues for the two stitchy days. So that will be that one. The next one, the other one that was picked was Lighting the Way, which is from, like I say, Lee from Creatively. That's what it will look like. I have done a mess up on this, but I'm sure I can figure it out. I did figure out where the mess up was. I just need to, unfortunately, unpick a load. Oh, come on. I keep pulling out the chart to put behind it. I don't want to... There we go. I'm stitching it on 18 count grey Ada. It's not mottled or anything. That's where I'm starting at. I was trying to work my way up and do the lighthouse, but I've cocked up here somewhere. Don't know where. But there we go. So that's where that one will be at. The next one was All Things Bright and Beautiful. This is from Just Cross Stitch 2017. I got it on my free library app. It's not called All Things Bright and Beautiful. I think it's Woodland Sampler or something, but I call it All Things Bright and Beautiful because of the verse, and I absolutely love this verse. I'm not one for samplers, but I love that verse, so I thought I'll be stitching that. And at the moment I'm stitching it on what looks to be a 16 count mottled fabric. I don't know where I got it from. I got a feeling I was given it, or I bought it in a load of random pieces of material. But at the moment all I've done is stitched the bottom border. I might go up and start filling out the other bits and bobs. I was going to try and stitch the border all around first, but it's getting tedious. So I've got a few stitches to finish, a few half stitches to finish off there, and then I'll just start whatever's here. So that's that one. Was that all of them? Yeah, well, you've seen Dragon Guardian, so I'm not going to show you that again. And you know Animal Panorama, so I'm not going to show you that again. And you've seen Flutter of Jellyfish. So that's that. So if you want me to start Shooting Star as part of Manning May, let me know. Let's say, I don't know. Depends how many of you decide to say yes. If I get, say, 10 comments, then I'll start it. I have got the fabric and the threads. It is all kitted up, ready to go. So you just say and I'll start. If you want to join me in any of the stitch alongs, or if you want to start the beach stitch along, you're more than welcome to. If you want to join me with the Manning May, you're more than welcome to. Leave me a comment and let me know what you've been working on while I've been rambling on for the last almost 55 blooming minutes. Wow. I don't normally do long floss tubes, so this just goes to show that maybe a month, 6 weeks is too long for me. Sorry guys. And yeah, let me know what you're working on and what you plan to work on for me. I will endeavour to be back in 2 weeks. So what are we now? We are the 28th. So 1, 2, so roughly the 11th of May, we'll say. Hopefully I can get some stitching. Well, if not the 11th of May, I'll do it my day off the week after, because the 11th of May is a stitchy day in Bridgend, which is 9:30 till 4:30. 9:30 till 4:30, I think, something like that. So we pay £10 for the table, and we get to sit there at Turtle Bay Stitches and have a chin wag and just stitch to our heart's content. No worrying about any adult responsibilities. Lots of enabling going on. I need to check out some of the fabrics to try and finish some things off. But yeah, so hopefully around about the 11th of May, if not the 11th, whenever work gives me off the following week. So until then, enjoy your stitching, stay safe and healthy, and we shall see you next time. Take care, bye.